How do I simplify expressions with fractional exponents? Imagine you have a puzzle that involves roots and powers, and your goal is to make it simpler so you can solve it easily. That's what simplifying expressions with fractional exponents is all about. These expressions combine roots and powers into one, which can seem tricky at first. But once you understand what fractional exponents mean, it becomes much easier. A fractional exponent like m/n actually means you take the root of a based on the bottom number and then raise it to the power of the top number. For example, a 1/2 is the same as the square root of a, and a 1/3 is the cube root of a. When you see an expression like m/n, you can think of it as either taking the root first and then raising to the power or vice versa. To simplify, start by rewriting the base if possible. If you have a number like 8 raised to the 1/3 power, remember that 8 is the same as 2 cubed. So you can rewrite 8 1/3 as 2 3 1/3. Next, use the rule that when you raise a power to another power, you multiply the exponents. So 2 3 1/3 becomes 2 3 plus times plus frac 1 3, which simplifies to 2 1, giving you just 2. If you have an expression like plus left plus frac 64 125 plus right 2/3, you can rewrite both numerator and denominator as powers. Since 64 is 4 3 and 1 to 5 is 5 3, the expression becomes plus left plus frac 4 353 plus right 2/3. Applying the rule that when raising a quotient to a power, you raise both numerator and denominator to that power, you get plus left plus frac 4 5 plus right 3 plus times plus frac 2 3. The 3's cancel out, leaving plus left plus frac 4 5 plus right 2, which simplifies to plus frac 1625. Remember that you can also convert fractional exponents to radicals to make things clearer. For example, a 1/2 is the same as the square root of a, and a 1/3 is the cube root of. This way you can simplify radicals directly if that makes more sense for the problem. When working with these expressions, always stick to the laws of exponents. The power rule says that a mn is equal to a m plus times n. The product rule states that a m plus times a n is equal to a m plus n. And the quotient rule tells us that plus frac a m a n is equal to a m n. Using these rules consistently helps you break down complex expressions step by step. So if you see an expression like n4 3/2, multiply the exponents. For times 3/2 equals 6, so the expression simplifies to n6. By practicing these steps, you'll find that simplifying fractional exponents becomes a straightforward process. It all comes down to understanding that fractional exponents are just a mix of roots and powers, and applying the rules of exponents makes everything easier. With a little practice, you'll be able to handle even the most complicated-looking expressions with confidence and clarity.